Recently, I have uploaded 5 hours video on PHP. This is a really good starting point if you want to learn PHP in 2020, and it covers things not only about PHP but about in general programming like variables, functions, if-else statements, loops, and so on. And it obviously covers PHP specific things like how to handle submitted data, how to work with file system, how to work with MySQL, and so on. I decided to take out some important sections from this video and put as a separate ones. For example, in this video you will see how to create a to-do application with PHP with file system, which means that the to-dos will be saved into JSON. Hello guys, I'm the Codeholic, and in this channel I do coding tutorials and challenges, so if you are new to my channel, consider subscribing. As I mentioned in this video, we're going to see how to build a to-do application with PHP, and let's immediately dive into the video. Okay, it's time to practice now. Okay, so let's create a to-do list application with file system, which means that we want to save our to-dos in the JSON file. Okay, so let's start from absolutely scratch, and I have here created index.php, nothing else. So let's generate HTML boilerplate code, and let's first create an input field where we're gonna type the to-do name, hit the submit button, and that will be added. Okay, so let's create form. We need the form for sure. And because we're going to submit the to-do name, we're going to send this to the backend. Let's use method post, okay, inside the form. We will need one input field which will have type text. Let's give it name to-do underscore name, and let's give it some placeholder value. Enter your to-do, okay, and let's create button new to-do. Okay, cool. Let's have a look in the browser. We have that to-do button and input. Okay, so what should happen when the button is clicked? It will submit the form, and that can be submitted in this file because the action is empty, or we can create a separate file for this. Okay, so let's make a separate file and call it new todo.php. Okay, and this will be the file which will handle the submission of the to-do. So let's put here new todo.php, and let's print the post data right here. Okay, let's print post data. Let's add some to-do like by monitor, for example, new to-do, and what happens. Okay, so let's see what happens. So by monitor, click the new to-do, and we get it. Okay, so new to-do comes right here, and we have here by monitor. Okay, so we need to check first of all, maybe it was submitted with empty name. Okay, so we need to check this. If first of all, we need to check if inside the post to-do name exists. Okay, and if the to-do name's value actually is not empty, but we can do this simply by creating new variable to-do name which equals post to-do name, or just false. Okay, so if post to-do name exists, then this will be the name. If it is set, let's use a double question marks. So if post name is set, that will be the to-do name. If not, then the false will be the to-do name, and we just need to check. Okay, if to-do name exists, then let's print save to-do, and let's come here, refresh, and what happens? I have semicolon missing, and here it is, save to do. Okay, let's go back in the form. So if we are trying to access this new todo.php in this way using get method, then the post is empty new to-do won't be taken from the post, and this if condition won't be satisfied, and thus save to-do is not printed. In another way, if we try to submit the to-do, then the to-do name will exist in the post, but that will be empty string. Okay, then to-do name will be an empty string, and that if won't be satisfied. Okay, if new to-do and it is not satisfied. We need to handle one more case. So if user submits empty spaces, okay, new to-do. In this case, save to-do is printed because the to-do name is spaces, which is actually a valid string. It is not falseable value. Okay, so what we can do right here, if to-do name exists, let's take the to-do name, otherwise let's make it empty string, and we can go ahead and run trim method on the to-do name. And in this case, save to-do won't be printed anymore. Okay, that's cool. So here, this is the place where we want to save our to-do. Let me remove or comment that post. So we need to save this in a JSON file. Okay, so for this, we need to use file put contents, okay, to save some JSON. And let's call it todo.json inside quotas, todo.json, and we need to save something inside the todo.json. So let's imagine the case that we already have something saved in the todo.json. Okay, so we need to read that todo.json first. We need to get the information written there, then add new todo there and save it back in the todo.json. Okay, so let's simulate this and create todo.json. Okay, and let's do like this. I'm going to create an object. Okay, so we have the todo item 1 corresponds to let's create an object which has like a completed value true. Completed equals to true. Okay, todo item 1, we can create todo item 2. Okay, so we have different to-do items. Now we want to read the to-do JSON and get the items and add new to-do there. Okay, for this we need to use file get contents, and we give here to-do JSON, and that will be the JSON file written inside the to-do JSON. And let's just print that to-do JSON. Okay, what's going on? Go back. Okay, we have white spaces. Okay, so by monitor, new to do, and here we have the JSON file. Okay, we want to convert that JSON into an associative array and work with this associative array. Okay, so I'm going to use JSON decode function, pass there JSON, and this will return an associative array. So I'm going to use JSON array equals to JSON decode, and now I'm going to print using dump JSON array. Okay, and here is my to-dos. So the only thing which I missed right now is to pass the second argument false right here, not false but true in the JSON decode, and that gives me an associative array. Okay, and this is how my array looks like. Now I want to do the following. Inside the JSON array, I want to put for to-do name an associative array which has completed value corresponds to false. Okay, so in the JSON we have for each to-do it corresponds to an object. And object in JSON basically is converted into an associative array in PHP using JSON decode, and vice versa. Associative array in PHP is converted into JSON using Json Encode. Okay, so if we go into new to do, we created inside the JSON, we added for this to do name, it corresponds an associative array which has completed false. Okay, that's good. And now we call file put contents, we give to do name, and we call Json Encode, which will take the associative array and convert it into JSON string, and we'll save this into the file. Let's save this, come here, continue, and let's have a look in the JSON. So it was actually minified in a single line, but at the end we see by monitor completed false. Actually, when we call JSON, JSON encode, we can actually pass here another constant of PHP, JSON pretty print. Okay, and that will show JSON on a nice way, like let's call it like this. Okay, let's open to the JSON, and here it is. Okay, that's cool. Now what will happen if the todo JSON doesn't exist? Okay, so if it's the first time we are making to do, so if I just simply take that JSON and delete it, so we need to handle that case also. Okay, so we need to check if file exists todo JSON. Only in this case, read that file, take its content, convert it into JSON array, just like this, and after this we will add inside the JSON array todo name. But if the file doesn't exist, we cannot read the file and we cannot take the JSON array. We just need to simply create an empty JSON array, just like this. Okay, so if I delete now todo JSON, go back into index page and write test there, new to do. Okay, then have a look, todo JSON was created for us, and there's written test completed false. Let's go back and add one more to do item, for example by monitor, new to do, come here, and by monitor was added right there. Okay, the only thing what we need to do right now is that after adding to do, we need to redirect user to the index page. Okay, so for this we need to use header function, which gives us possibility to give additional headers to the response which is sent to the user. Okay, so location is index.php. Okay, so let's go back, refresh, add one more to do like call mom, new to do, and we were redirected to the index page back, but inside todo JSON call mom was added. Now we need to read that todo JSON and display todos right here. Okay, let's do this. So for this we need to again call file get contents to actually get the content of the JSON. File get contents of the todo.json, which will return obviously the JSON, and then we need to call JSON array, or let's call it todo items. Okay, or just simply to-dos. Okay, to-dos will be JSON decode JSON. But here we also need to check if the todo JSON exists or not. Okay, so if file exists todo JSON, then we get file get contents, we convert into an associative array and assign it to to-dos. If it doesn't exist, we just need to have simply an empty to-dos array, because we're gonna need the to-dos array down below. Okay, and if condition won't be satisfied, the to-dos variable won't be declared at all. Okay, so down below we need to iterate over those to-dos, and let's use for each function for this. Okay, for each to-dos is, and here we need to-do name is the key. To-dos basically is an associative array where the key is the to-do name and the value is an object or associative array which has completed. Okay, to-do name corresponds to to-do. Okay, and when we want to write that for each or for each loop in the HTML,
So obviously we can do it like this. Okay, so that's the way we can do, and we can write some echo statements and output some things there. But the thing is that we can actually do like this. So we can have that curly braces right here and finish our PHP closing tag right here, and then open PHP tag right here, have the curly braces and close PHP tag, and we can actually have like to-do item right here. Let's put it in the paragraph or in the div. Okay, let's see it in the div. Let's write to-do item. Okay, let's refresh the page, and here we see to-do item 3 times. That's pretty cool. However, there is a second way which I prefer much more. That curly braces is a little bit hard for me to understand in a large for each loop where it starts and where it ends when it's mixed with HTML. So we generally can have colon right here, which means that we're like ending for each loop right here, but we need to call then here end for each. Okay, end for each, and that works in the same way. We have to-do items 3 times, but we need to actually print the to-do name, right? So we need to write here, let's do like this, PHP echo, let's print to-do name. But we also want to display the to-do delete button, and we also want to display the checkbox. Okay, so I'm gonna create input type checkbox, which needs to have the value of the to-do's status. Whether if it's completed, the checkbox needs to be checked. If not, it should not be. So here I'm gonna add PHP tag, and if to-do has status completed, then we need to put there checked. Okay, it must be checked if this status is completed, otherwise it must not be checked. Okay, just like this. And we print to-do name, and we can print here delete button also. Let's have a look. So something is wrong. The first thing is that in the JSON decode, we need to pass here true to return an associative array. By default, the JSON decode returns an object, okay, array of objects, and we want it to be associative array. So let's do like this, and here it is. So we have checkboxes, we have like delete buttons, and we have to-do names also. Okay, what else do we need? Okay, let's add a small slight CSS in the style tag. Let's add margin bottom 20 pixel to make them a little bit far from each other, and let's add a beer tag right here, just like this. And now we need to handle let's do like this. Now we need to handle the delete buttons and the clicking on the checkboxes. Okay, on delete, it must be deleted. Let's by the way try to add new to do. Okay, like something, enter, it's at the bottom, new to do at the bottom. Okay, it's cool, like to dos are added like a charm, but we need to handle the delete also. So one way is to have here a and make an href to delete.php, which doesn't exist, but we need to create that delete.php. But that's not really good. Okay, so first of all, we need to pass here the to-do name, and we can even do this, but that will finally cause that we're calling delete.php with get method, and that's not really secure way. Okay, so we need to do this with post. So that's obviously like a simple solution. To-do name equals to the to-do name. We can create simply delete PHP, get the query parameter using get, and read the JSONs and delete it. Okay, that's easier, but we need to do it differently to have a little bit of security. Okay, I'm going to show you like both ways how we can do it. Okay, so let's create a form for this, which will have action on delete.php. And inside the form, I'm going to put my delete button. That's going to be button inside the. Okay, so I'm going to put this inside the form, and also I'm going to create input type hidden input, which will have name to-do name, and I'm going to give it to value actual to-do name. Okay, so whenever we click the delete button, that form will be submitted, and let's give it method post. That form will be submitted passing to-do name to the delete PHP, and let's create that delete.php. Okay, and let's print right here post. Okay, refresh, and now it shows a little bit ugly because the form is an block level element and it occupies the whole width. So let's change the style and give it display inline block. Okay, that's much better. And when I click that delete button, it comes to the delete PHP, and here I have to-do name. So now I need to read my to-dos and remove the to-do which was given. Okay, so let's go to the delete PHP, and for simplicity I'm not going to consider now the case if the to-do JSON is not exist. Okay, so I'm just gonna read in an array just like this. We have an array of to-dos, and we have to-do name also in the post, and I'm going to just delete. Okay, so for deleting I'm going to use unset function. Okay, so unset from JSON array, let's remove the record which has the to-do name, and let's create to-do name variable which will be the post to-do name. Okay, again, for simplicity I don't check if the to-do name really exists in the post, but I encourage you to pause here, do this, and then come back and watch me how I finish this. Okay, so JSON array corresponds from JSON array I want to delete to-do name, and then after this I want to save back file, put contents inside todo.json encode. I'm going to pass JSON array with JSON pretty print. Okay, and when the to-do is deleted, we need to redirect to the login page also. Okay, so location will be index.php, just like this. Reload it, and we will redirect it to the index page. And when we click the delete button, it actually is deleting the to-dos, and it's not appearing in the to-do JSON anymore. Okay, just like this. Amazing. And the last thing what we need to do is to handle that completed status. Okay, so when I click the checkbox, I want the to-do to be completed, and when I reload the page, to be saved as a completed. Okay, again, I'm going to do this with post method, but I will need a little bit of JavaScript right here. So I have here that input type checkbox, which has checked value. So I'm going to create form also right here, which will have action like change underscore status dot php. I'm going to put that input in the form, and I'm also going to create one input type hidden. Okay, type hidden, giving there the to-do name, the same one, basically what I have right now. Okay, to-do that file, that input can also go into a separate partial PHP file and include it right here. Okay, it's just single line, but just for like a practice. Okay, so we have to-do name right here, form has action, and we need to change the method into post. And now what I need to do is, using JavaScript, I need to listen to that to-do name input change, and whenever it is changed, I need to submit that form. Okay, let's create change status first, and let's dump right here whatever comes from the post, and let's write a little bit of JavaScript. Okay, so we need to select all checkboxes which has name to do name. Okay, checkboxes equals document query selector all. Let's select all input which has type checkbox, and we can leave it also as it is, or we can be more specific and say and which has name to do name. Okay, and then we need to add event listeners to all checkbox. Okay, checkbox for each, just like this. ch on click, we need to call, let's create normal function not to lose this binding. Okay, so this parent node, which will be the form, submit. Okay, so this corresponds to the checkbox itself. That's why I created here normal function, not arrow function. And then we have parent node, which will be the form. So basically we're submitting the form whenever the checkbox is checked. And let's come to the browser. Again, we have here form, which is a block level element, and we need to change its display, let's say it's style display inline block. Okay, cool. And when I click on the checkbox, it actually doesn't do anything. Okay, what's the reason? Input type checkbox, which has type checkbox and name is to do name. I don't have the name of the checkbox. Okay, the name is given to the hidden input type text. Oh, ugly. Let's remove that name. Okay, refresh, click it, and here we go. So we are redirected to the change status.php, and here we have that post. So let me take the following code and slightly modify it. Okay, read the file, get the to-do name, and here what we're going to do. For that particular to-do name, I'm going to invert its status. Okay, that to-do name, again, if we have a look at the JSON, is an associative array. It's an object. Okay, and it has completed property. Okay, so the to-do name has completed property, and we're going to set that completed property true or false, the opposite whatever it has. Okay, so I'm going to do like this, but exclamation mark before. Again, I'm skipping here all kind of checkings if the to-do name exists inside JSON array or not, but that kind of checkings is necessary, and that's up to you. So do it. So if to-do name will exist in the JSON array, then we're going to change its completed status and set it to the opposite of whatever it is right now. Okay, if right now it has false, that exclamation mark will change into true. If it's already true, that will change into false. Then we're saving this back into JSON and redirecting to the login page. Okay, let's have a look in the to-do JSON, and the first one, all of them basically is false. Let's come here, and now the first one is checked, and inside the JSON, first one was also changed into true. So if I click on the by monitor, now this one changes also into true, and this is true in the JSON also. If I click the by monitor second time, this one changes into false, and it's false in the JSON also. And that's basically what we wanted. So we can add new to do, we can mark that to do, we can delete that to do, and that's it.
If you find this video useful, definitely leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and let me know in the comment section what you think. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next time.